Hello, Rhonda here from Resilient Writers again. So, this is video number 4 in my 4-part series about the things that I learned while I was revising my historical mystery novel, which I just sent off to beta readers this week. And the thing I think that has been most important to me, not just with this book, but over the course of my writing life, is community. So I fundamentally know, like it's not even a belief, I just know that books are not written alone. I know that when we sit down, we're alone with the book. I know that only I can write the story that is mine to write. I know that elves aren't coming to finish it in the night. Damn elves. I like if only there were fairies that came and finished up like act number 2, in the nighttime. Would love that. Doesn't happen. Hasn't happened for me. I don't know if you have the fairies. I don't have the fairies. So community is what keeps me going. And I experience community in a couple of ways. So, in my first book finish program, we have community writing sessions where we get together on Zoom and we write together. And that's really helpful because you get that body doubling effect that draws on the mirror neurons in your brain, right? I see somebody else writing, and so my brain goes, oh, let's write. And it just is so easy to get the writing done when you're writing in community, right? Whether it's an in real life meetup or on Zoom, and there's all kinds of places you can have that experience. So, highly, highly, highly recommend, especially if you've been struggling to get your writing sessions done. Join a community that has scheduled community writing sessions. I mean, it is gold. And so I have been writing with my first book finish peeps um, over well, for a few years now. It's basically how I got this book done, showing up with them, seeing them there, saying hi Mari, hi Laura, hi Kathy, hi Liz, right? Like just seeing everybody else there writing. It's so sustaining. It's like, yeah, here we are doing it. And it's so much easier to concentrate and focus. I find crazy how that works. But the brain is the brain, right? This is taking advantage of the little systems in our brain and letting them work for us instead of against us. So if you can join a community that has community writing sessions, so highly recommend. So highly recommend. Like it's one of the most important things. Community has been important to me over the years in other ways. Like I was in a writing critique group for a very long time. We gave each other feedback on our writing, which was great. But also, we said things like, oh, did you hear that that editor moved from that publishing house to that publishing house? Did you hear that so and so is open for short story collections? When you email your book to that publisher, you can use my name because I've published with them. Yeah, all of that kind of stuff comes from building community over time. And then I think it's just also about not feeling alone because so much of the time we are alone. It's like me and the manuscript and trying to figure out who done it and why they done it, right? In my case, because I'm writing a mystery and gosh, I struggled with this. This is a new genre for me. And it was so rewarding to hear other people struggle, right? I'm thinking about Liz, who is writing this amazing book that draws on Jane Austen. And she was so close to giving up because she couldn't figure out she needed to get it down to the word count so she could query. She couldn't figure out how to do that. We met, we talked it through, and she went, she just did it because that's Liz, right? And so watching her do that, even supporting her to do that, reminds me that there's a solution for every issue I'm facing, right? When folks working on memoir with me in First Book Finish say, I'm at a really hard space in the material's really difficult, and we talk that through and find solutions for it. It just really reminds me that there is a solution for every creative challenge, and I need to be reminded of that. We all need to be reminded of that. there is a solution for every creative challenge. I really firmly believe that we become the writer we need to be to finish a book in the process of finishing the book, right? So, yeah, I decided to write a mystery. Never wrote a mystery before. What the hell, right? I can learn how to structure a mystery. And so, and then I'm going to get feedback from these amazing beta readers who are doing this for me, and I'll be able to improve the book. So, community, wow, community is everything. It really is everything. It's about not feeling alone. It's about getting the writing done. It's about understanding that we're all in it together and everyone struggles a little bit, right? All our struggles are very similar. This is something else I've learned after coaching hundreds of people through drafts and revisions and published books, is that many of our struggles are the same. We might experience them, a little differently here and there. Some people have a fear of failure. Some people have a fear of success, right? But many of them are the same. And many of the solutions are the same as well. And there's something incredibly comforting about that, right? Where I think, yeah, we're in this together, right? Me and all of my writer peeps, right? We're in this together, you and me. This is a thing we're doing together. You're finishing your book, I'm finishing my book, and we face the same challenges. And so knowing that we're in it together to me is so powerful. So I think also the thing that community gives you, I'm looking at my notes here. I've made notes. So I'm looking at my notes, and a final thing I wanted to say is I think being in community with other writers helps us stay real about the writing life, because there's so much BS online, right? Like outline your book in a day, write your book in a month. Um, okay, you might be able, if you have nothing else going on in your life, as many of us kind of arrange or used to arrange for NaNoWriMo in November, yeah, you can maybe whip out a draft in a month. It's going to be a shitty first draft. It's still going to be a lot of work. So anybody saying finish a book in a month is lying. They are lying. Okay. It just takes more time than that. And but in pop culture, like if you think about a movie, like think about Little Women, right? You've got Jo and she's typing, and then the pages like pile up, and then the next thing you know, it's being published, right? Or another movie I watch with Brooke Shields where like she's like typing and then the pages pile up and then they publish it, and then she has a best-selling book and she buys a castle in Scotland. Anybody see that movie? Just me? I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, please. It's just not real. And being in community with other writers helps me know that it's okay if it takes me a few months to get a draft out. And it's okay if it takes me a few more months to revise, because that's the reality of the writing life for those of us whose last name isn't Medici, and like we still got to make a living and keep toilet paper in the bathroom, right? It's not as easy as sometimes folks make it sound. But being in community with other writers just makes it that much easier. Just makes it feel good. Feel like, yes. And also that thing where you get to both support one another, like you get to cheer for one another, and then you also get to commiserate, right? I've got a few folks in First Book Finish right now who are querying, and like that's a numbers game. You are going to be rejected a whole bunch. And so we can celebrate when they get requests for a full manuscript. That's awesome. And we can commiserate when, they get ghosted by yet another agent, or they get oh, I don't think it's for me. And suddenly it's not as hard as it otherwise would be. So I hope you have community in your writing life. And if you don't, I just think there are so many places you can find that. We have it in First Book Finish. There's lots of communities online, and even in your local community. At the library, there'll be people meeting. You can go to meetup.com. You can start a meetup for writers, right? And so find community. do what you can, build community over time for yourself. It will be some of the most rewarding things that you do for your writing life, building community. Okay. So this is the last video in the series that I was doing of things that I learned or just things that I noticed while I was finishing up this revision. The first one is that it's the world's easiest thing not to finish a book. So easy, especially when you have to make a living, when you have other things going on, if you have to care for anyone. Whoa, the world's easiest thing is not to finish a book. So it really takes focus, concentration, and some ferocity. Like you have to be fierce about your focus, right? And then the second one is mindset is 80% of the battle. We have to get in the habit of noticing our thoughts, especially our negative thoughts, and being able to shift them. And so go back to that video, video number 2. And then video number 3 was all about how books are a process. And so we don't have to get everything perfect all the time. And knowing that not every phase, the book needs to be perfect at every phase, and that there are more opportunities coming to make the book even better. Whew, liberation, liberation. And then number 4, today's video, all about the power of community and how vital it is that we have a community of writers that we can be a part of in our writing lives. So I hope this series has been helpful to you, and hit reply in the email and let me know. And I hope it's helpful to you as you work to finish the book that only you can write, because I believe that the world needs the book that only you can finish. Okay? Talk to you soon. Take care.